Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm taking you out. We're going to be doing some fall time, winter time, transition style smallmouth fishing. I'm going to be showing you what to look for. I'm going to break down some of the gear I take out. And guys, I've done a lot of videos on like bank fishing, which is what we're going to do today. You see, I have the waders on, so we're not actually taking the John boat out today. But guys, you can take advantage of some great bank fishing opportunities during the fall and the winter time because all the undergrowth and stuff in the woods has kind of died down. So you can really access those banks. And we're gonna be taking a look at that today, guys. So if you like this type of stuff, please stick around, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and let's get going. All right, guys, so let's break down some of the gear that I use. So if you plan on getting in the water or you just really don't want to get all the brush and all the stickers and all that all over you, I strongly suggest getting a pair of waders. And guys, these did not break the bank. And I get a lot of questions all the time. How are these waders still holding up? These are the Tide Wee fishing waders. And I think they were like 60 bucks on Amazon. And they're still doing good, guys. You see, I wear them in like every single video. These things are still working good, and you don't have to break the bank to get out there and get yourself a set of waders. You know, sometimes they are prone to rips and tears and stuff, but these seem to be holding up pretty well. All right, as far as fishing gear, so right now we're going to be using, you know, the Quantum Throttle 2, and we have a Ned Rig tied onto that. So we'll break baits down here in a minute, but Quantum Throttle 2, we also have all of these rigged up with 20-pound braid with a 10 or a 12-pound fluorocarbon leader. I can't remember actually which one I actually put on these, but it's either 10 or a 12-pound fluorocarbon leader. And guys, the reason for putting braid on here is the braid is definitely going to give you the sensitivity. It has zero stretch, and also that fluorocarbon is going to allow the bait to be pretty much invisible. Okay, so the fish aren't keying in on the line. They're going to be focused on the bait, and that's about it. And also, the connection between the braid and the fluorocarbon, if you were to actually get hung up out there, you know, it's going to be the weak point, and it's actually going to break off. So, guys, I carry another spool of fluorocarbon. That way, if I do need to actually tie on some more, I have some extra. All right, and we're not going to carry all three of these. I'm probably only going to carry two, and the reason for that, you know, if I do end up breaking off, I still have an extra rod to actually use. And plus, you know, I have a couple different bait options here, so I can have two different baits tied on at once. I don't have to focus on just throwing one out there. Okay, right here I have a bag that I'm going to take out. So this is what I keep all of my baits in. I also have my fishing pliers right here, and I just have a little bungee cord kind of hooked up to it. And I just keep these on the front of my pack in case I need to, you know, dislodge a hook or something like that. And right now, guys, I have some fishing gloves, just in case it gets cold. It's not really that cold this morning, but I kind of keep them in there. And guys, when it comes to baits, you really want to look at using a bait that's not going to get hung up. So what we have here is the Ned Rig. So we have all of these different Ned style baits here. But the way you want to rig it up to keep it completely weedless, so you're not getting hung up, is this right here. This is the new Ned Locks. And this is like an extra wide gap hook. And you see it has the little hook keeper right there, or the little bait keeper. And then you just really, you know, rig it kind of like a Texas rig, and that's about it. And it still has that same Ned Rig action to it. So this thing is going to stand straight up on the bottom. That tail's going to go crazy. And guys, the smallmouth are going to go crazy after that thing. And it's not just smallmouth, you know, largemouth, if you have it in your river, they're going to go crazy for it too. So this river that we're about to fish on, it's kind of a mixed bag. There's half smallies, half largemouth. So it's really kind of endless what you're going to end up catching. And guys, as far as bait color selection, you know, all of these pretty much work, okay? So we're going to stick with the green pumpkin. We have some watermelon red, and sorry, these are kind of stuck together. Watermelon red right there. This right here is called their Copper Truce. And this right here, I think, is called a Hot Snakes. It's got like blue flake in it. Got the old PB&J color, which is awesome for the river. And guys, also, if you're wanting to mimic a shad, we have the white smoke. So the Ned Rig, guys, and I've said it before, I believe is the most versatile bait that you can use for smallmouth. It's a really small bait presentation. It has an awesome presentation with the action, and it just works. And if you use the right type of Ned head on it, you're not going to be getting hung up on everything. So it works really good for bank fishing. The second bait, this probably isn't going to be a surprise to you, is the tube. So anytime you're fishing a tube, you are really got to hone in on the smallmouth. But definitely the key to bank fishing with a tube is using the right style hook. So this right here is an extra wide gap tube insert, and also have the Pro Model style, which has like a straight shank on it. And both of these work great, and it's going to allow you to rig it up to where that bait is completely weedless once again, just like that Ned Rig. And this thing is just going to be gliding through the water, and you're going to be able to pop it. You're going to be able to just, you know, drag it across the bottom, whatever it may be. And guys, you know, as far as color selection, I like to keep it really simple, especially for fall time. I'm probably only going to throw green pumpkins. Any kind of green pumpkin, whether it be with the black tentacles, clear tentacles. You could even throw something that it looks like, this looks kind of like a Christmas tree, but it's a green pumpkin. It's got some gold flake in it. It's got the red tentacles. But guys, anything like that is pretty much going to work. You know, I would probably even throw this purple right here. I get it. The crawfish have kind of buried themselves in the mud and stuff right now. But guys, these are pretty much, in the fish's eyes, going to mimic, you know, a bait fish at this point. So they're still keying in on movement, even though they are being a little bit more lethargic and stuff like that. They're not going to be moving as much. So we're really going to have to get it in front of their face and kind of focus on that today. So some baits that you don't want to throw when you're bank fishing. So this is my other smallmouth box. It has like all of my crankbaits, my jerk baits, my topwater. You kind of want to stay away from that kind of stuff. Anything that has, you know, treble hooks is really going to be a pain in the butt if you were to get it stuck. Yeah, if you have a set of waders on, you can definitely go out there and retrieve it if the water isn't too deep. So that's one thing you have to keep in mind. We're going to be kind of focusing on areas that have deeper water because those fish are going to kind of move down during the wintertime. So yeah, anything with treble hooks like this is definitely going to be something you want to stay away from. The only thing in this box I would really throw right now would be these Bitsy Bug jigs. These are going to be an awesome option. Or any kind of other, this is a little ball head mini jig. But these right here will be awesome right now as well. And I found black and blue works really good during the fall and winter time. So definitely keep that in mind when you're, you know, selecting. Okay, if you're just going out and you're bank fishing for largemouth, not necessarily smallmouth, you know, some baits I would look at, you know, picking would be, you know, a Senko or a crawl, a black and blue crawl. This is also going to mimic a bait fish. You can also go with a bug style or a creature bait. And green pumpkin, blue, this is kind of a mix. And that's also going to be a good option for you. So you have a bunch of different options at your disposal. You know, you have trick worms. You got some bigger jigs that you could throw. This is my big jig box. Got some bait falling out here. Yeah, if you're going after the largemouth, throw one of these big Strike King jigs or any kind of jig that you have. It's going to work pretty good for you. And what the whole goal is, guys, is not getting hung up on everything. So that's going to allow that to not happen. All right, guys, now that we broke everything down, let's go ahead and get out there, see what we can catch. And I haven't been out in like a month, guys. I've been super busy. I've been tied up with work and all kinds of different other stuff. So I apologize for not being able to shoot a lot of videos. So hopefully that's going to be changing soon. We're actually going to get out on the water and actually make things happen again. And I know I've been doing more deer hunting type stuff in the past, definitely honing in on some of that tree stand stuff. But hopefully we can intertwine some fishing stuff here in the future. We got to stick around. We're going to hit the banks right now, and I'm going to show you what kind of spots we're looking for. And like I said, right now in the wintertime, the smallmouth, they're kind of moving down a little bit in the water. So we're going to be looking for deeper water that's also close to that areas of current. So if you watch my Google Maps video on how to actually locate smallmouth on Google Maps, definitely use that. But we're going to be looking for deep areas that are still butted up to that current. So we're going to be hitting those areas today. We're going to be going down the bank here. I have about probably I would say a 1/4 mile to a 1/2 mile of stretch of bank here that we're gonna be looking at. So please stay tuned, we're gonna hit it right now. All right, so you can tell all this undergrowth is kind of, went away. So definitely during the summertime, if, your banks are completely taken up with brush and weeds and all that undergrowth, we'll give it a try. It might be pretty cleared out now, so. So this is kind of the area that I hone in on, especially with the boat, because during the summer, that's kind of the only way you can kind of access this, is with a boat. So this is the smallmouth sanctuary area. So hopefully we can get on some out here. A little bit deeper water right here. Water looks really good. Water level is up, so we're gonna try to take advantage of that. All right, we're gonna start out with the tube. So another thing with the rod selection, I would suggest getting a rod, especially if you're gonna be like in thick trees and stuff like that, which we don't have too many trees along this bank line. But get like a 6-foot 6-inch rod that's gonna be short enough that you can make good casts. I'd probably stay away from anything 7 foot and longer. So the focus here, I think they're gonna be kind of in this little channel that goes down the middle of the river here. So I'm trying to throw out to at least the middle of the river and kind of drag it back. There we go. That's a good fish right there. Oh yeah, that's a good one here. That's a largemouth. Oh yeah, guys. Ooh, that's a tank, man. That's a freaking hoss. Holy crap. I haven't caught a largemouth like this, guys, in a long time. This could be my personal best largemouth. Heck yeah, that dude is a hoss. Man, he's trying to get away too. Man, he's a tank. Dang, look at that dude. He's probably 3.5, I would say. All right, guys, you saw it right there. Not only did the smallmouth love the tube, this largemouth just smashed it. Look at the size of his belly, man. This is a good one right here. Probably one of the best largemouth I've ever caught, so very awesome fish. Let's get a good release on him. All right, he's off and on his way. I can't believe we hit that one, man. That is a good fish. On the old Strike King coffee tube. And he just smashed that thing. Yeah, I knew when that one bit down, it was a good one. So like I said, this river isn't too deep. But I found the areas that are gonna be the deepest for what we do have. So I would say the deepest part right here is probably, I would say, I don't know, 8 to 10 foot deep. So I really found areas that have that much water. And then the other parts of the river, it might have 5-6 feet of water. I will say, if you're looking for a bait that catches big fish, I'm telling you, that tube is kind of where it's at. I've caught most of my big smallmouth, my personal bests, on those tubes. And they've really worked out best for me. Thought we had us a bite there. And with the fish being, you know, they're going to be reacting a lot slower, I'm going to work the bait a little bit slower. So you can tell I'm not really focused on pulling it in too quick. I'm just kind of letting it sit, and I'll reel it in just a little bit, dragging it across the bottom, and then I'll pause it. Hopefully it's going to give the fish enough time to kind of react to it. You know, honestly, I'm kind of surprised that largemouth hit it. You know, this past year I haven't had the best luck with largemouth, just because mainly I've been throwing baits, you know, more suited for smallmouth. Man, I guess we were in the right place at the right time on this one. All right, it's probably my last cast I'm gonna make in this area right here. I pretty much just worked around doing a fan cast. So I started over here and just kind of worked around. And what that allows you to do is cover more area. And it also makes it to where you're not throwing in the same spot every time. All right, we're gonna pick up and move on down the river, you know, probably like 20 feet or so. That way we can get around these trees right here and start making some other casts on the other side. All right, we moved down just a little ways and it kind of opened up some. We don't have as many trees right here. You know what still surprises me is I've caught more big fish from the bank than I do off the boat. And I don't know the reason for that. Maybe it's I can make more casts when I'm bank fishing because I'm not having to worry about steering the boat and the trolling motor. Oh. I thought we had one there. I think it just barely hit it. Oh, one hit it there. There we go. Another decent largemouth. Wow. He wasn't stuck on there too well. He's not nearly as big. But hey, he's pretty decent. We haven't caught many largemouth, so yeah, they've been eating good though. All right. We'll take it. Take a little largie. Get him back in. I don't even know if we're gonna have to change baits, guys. That tube's working. So I'm telling you, even though you would think this would mimic a crawfish, they still look at it as being a bait fish. We'll move up another 20 feet or so around these trees. And this is kind of what we're working with, guys. Working down this bank line. And it already looks like some people have been taking advantage of fishing the banks because, you know, they just don't have access to it on most occasions during the summertime. Nobody's really going to wade through all this crap. All right, this looks like a pretty good spot. I just cast it across. I didn't see that tree limb hanging there. Just cast it across it, but luckily it did get hung. All right. So I casted up the bank line here. There we go. That's a good fish here. Oh my God, he's hung on this. He felt like a better fish. He fought pretty good though. After I conked his head on that stick a few times. He was hung up on that log. All right, nice little smallmouth here. I swear these smallies, they feel heavier than the largemouth for some reason. I think it's just the fight that they put up. They put up an awesome fight. I just don't get it. All right, if you've never seen this type of rig before, this is the stupid tube. And what this is, it's an internal tube jig that's inside the plastic, and you see it kind of comes out like you would a Texas rig. And then you just kind of Texpose it or bury the barb of that hook back into the plastic there. And this right here, it's pretty much weedless all the time. You can see I've been fishing for probably 20 minutes and we've caught 3 fish and I haven't even got hung up once with it. So it works pretty well. I knew we'd end up catching a smallmouth at some point. I thought that was definitely a big largemouth, just the way it acted. So this area is so good that, you know, I did some fan casting around. We caught that one up here, and then I'm kind of working back. Oof, we just missed one there. Just hit it really fast. There we go. Don't seem that big. Well, maybe I'm wrong. It is a big smallmouth. That's a huge smallmouth. All right, dude. That is a monster of a smallmouth. Yeah, wow. This one is photo worthy. I'm gonna get a picture of this one. He keeps curling his tail up, but he's big. I didn't bring the scale with me, but I would say this one is at least 18, 19 incher. He's a big boy. Dad just smashed that tube right on top of the mouth. Tell you what, these fish must be eating good because, man, I've caught 2 good ones today that, you know, are just as good as some of the biggest ones I've caught all year. So this one is definitely a tank. Probably at least 18, 19 incher. Let me get him back in the water. Yeah, he didn't want to stick around long. He got back out there. Man, I'm gonna throw back out there where that one was. So if you know anything about smallmouth, they love to school up. So that's what I'm hoping for. Hopefully they schooled up on this one. That one was huge. He even kind of tore it up here. We might be able to save this one. Maybe not. We might have to switch over to the Tube Jig. At first I didn't think that one was a big one because it just kind of hit it and hung out with it. It didn't really pull against it. I don't know, I just thought it was like a small little fish. Ended up being a really nice one. All right, yeah, tube's getting a little beat up. We're gonna switch over to that mini jig, and we're also gonna move on down the river here. Well, I can't believe it. 2 huge fish this morning. Get that big largemouth, probably 3.5 pounder, and then that huge smallie. He's probably at least the same size. Very, very surprised on that one. I haven't caught a smallmouth that size since probably late summer. So very, very good morning we're having here right now. All right, got another little area. It's kind of opened up here. The bank looks really, really good. All right, guys, so we ended up putting a new tube on the Luz and Abu Garcia combo here. And the reason for that is that Tube Jig just, it wasn't working for us, and I didn't really want to tie another one of those on. So we just went ahead and tied another tube on, and plus the tube is kind of what we've been getting all the hits on. So we're definitely gonna keep trying the old tube here. Get the camera set up. We're gonna try this little spot, and we're just gonna keep moving on down. And right here's a great little area too. Yep, we already have one. And he's running fast. Yeah, a little smallmouth. Pretty decent. He didn't give me time to start talking about the area. He's already trying to get off. So the little spot we just caught it in, so there's a little creek that comes out right there. This guy was sitting right at it. It's a great little area. They get a lot of oxygen from that creek coming in. It's a great little place to get fish to bite. All right, I think I've lost count. It's either 5 or 6 right there. Good little morning. I am not complaining one bit, especially the first time I've been out in, you know, probably close to a month. I haven't even made a video in like a month. You can tell right here I have some low-hanging trees. Well, maybe you can see there's tree limbs right there. So I really had to make a low cast on this one. Make another low cast way out there. Okay, I'm gonna let it sit for a second, see if anything kind of keys in on it. You know, I've had a buddy that told me that fishing during the wintertime here is really, really good because they get fat. And I didn't really believe him because I do most of my fishing during the summer and I do all the hunting during the wintertime. But I'm telling you what, he was right. These fish are freaking huge. They are eating well. They are stacking up. And I think they're more eager to bite because they haven't been fished a lot in quite a while, since summertime probably. So they're more willing to bite, and you're just gonna catch more fish typically. All right, let's move on down the river here. Now I sat my other rod down just so I don't have to carry it, because I'm not gonna end up using that one again, I don't think, unless I end up breaking off, but we can always come back and get it. All right, looks like this area is a little bit more shallow, so I don't know if that's gonna be a good thing or not. But hopefully it's got deep areas that kind of butt up to it. All right, we're in a spot that's kind of hard to film from. I didn't bring my good tripod today. I have more of the compact tripod, so it's not as easy to stand up and kind of keep it balanced. So actually right here might be a pretty good area. It looks like it's a little bit deeper. There's a little channel that runs through. So I'm hoping to key in on that little channel where it's deep. And there's kind of like little rock ledges that kind of lead down into that channel. So perfect little spot for smallmouth to kind of stack up on. Thought I heard some deer coming in. They're on those the river, but man, I should start coming down here and fishing with my bow. Bow hunt and fish. Yeah, I think it was some does. I heard a doe snort, it sounded like. Ooh, a nice piece of structure right here. Let's see if we can target on this structure. I would show you some of this structure we're looking at, guys, but the camera is definitely not going to pick it up, I don't think. We have a lot of trees that we're kind of contending with here. Having to kind of make like a modified cast. So I kind of threw this right over a log. I don't know how that would end up if a fish took it. Might end up going right under that log. All right, I'm gonna let the current kind of drift this down because I want to bring it right past the log right here on the bottom side of it. A lot of times those fish will use stuff like this as a current break. So that's what I'm kind of hoping on. All right, so the trail that leads down through here isn't that great, and the bank's very, very covered with, kind of down trees and everything. So we're gonna head on back down the river. We're gonna hit up some of those spots that we caught some good ones on the way up, and we're gonna see if anything else is biting. All right, so we're gonna try a few last casts here. in one of the spots we had pretty good luck at earlier. And then that'll probably close out our video. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for the video today. Hopefully you like this kind of stuff. If you did, please leave a like. Also subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. And guys, thanks for watching. We got on some really good bass today. We had that really big largie and that smallmouth that we pulled in, and a couple other ones that were, you know, okay bass. Guys, had an amazing time. My first time out on the water in like a month. Definitely with all the deer hunting and just being busy with work and things, kind of pulled me away from actually doing some YouTube videos over the past month or so, but definitely enjoyed it today. So please stick around, and until next time, guys, check out my other videos. We'll see you then.